Hello and welcome. My name is Barbara, and today my presentation is about minimum wage increase and its effect on U.S. small businesses. Thank you for joining me today, and your names are Earl and you're Jake. All right, well, let's get started. The purpose of this talk is to explain the key consequences of minimum wage increases on the average U.S. small business. And the central idea is that wage increases do have a negative impact on American small businesses. Let's take a closer look at the minimum wage. The federal minimum wage for U.S. workers was established in 1938. It was created by Congress under the Fair Labor Standards Act and began at 25 cents per hour. Its purpose was to stabilize the post-Depression economy and to protect workers in the labor force. I don't know if you know, but in the height of the Great Depression, at least 25% of all workers in the U.S. were unemployed. There was no unemployment insurance, there was no safety net in terms of federal social services for workers. So they had to depend on family or savings or actually charity, and many people suffered. Another thing is that not only was the minimum wage established to help the workers, but it was to help the economy as well, because workers that were making money could spend money and help support the economy. Now, the minimum wage is set by U.S. labor law and a range of state and local laws. Okay, there are the three levels. The employers generally have to pay workers whatever the highest minimum wage is at either of those three levels. Between 1938 and 2019, U.S. federal minimum wage increased 25 times, from 25 cents in 1938 to $11.10 this year. And in January 2020, it will be raised again to $12 per hour. There are over 80 million U.S. workers who are paid hourly. According to the SBA, or Small Business Administration, in 2018 there were over 30 million small businesses. And these companies employ around 59 million U.S. workers. So there are some key negative impacts of minimum wage increases on these businesses. Now, salary is usually the largest expense for these small companies. And an increase raises minimum wages as well as other wages in the company, because as a minimum wage increases, it raises the level of higher hourly rates in the company. It also can eliminate positions and reduce hiring, new hires. It increases the prices of goods. Henry Ford said, "It's not the employer who pays wages, it's the customer who pays them." Meaning that, of course, as small businesses realize higher costs for their products or services, they're going to have to pass those on, to the customer. Minimum wage increases also reduce business expansion. Clearly, if a company has less money, they're not going to be able to expand, add a new store or office or hire new workers. This graph shows a minimum wage increase action survey that was done in the first quarter of 2016. So small business owners were asked, what would happen if the minimum wage were increased by 10 cents? How would you act? And about 40% said that they would cut their workforce, they'd lay off. Over 50% said they'd reduce their hiring. And almost 70% said that they would have to increase their prices. The government reports also are in agreement about the negative effects of minimum wage increases. A Congressional Business Office report in July this year found that increase in minimum wages are bad for small businesses. They lead to job losses and layoffs, reduces the income for the business owners, leads to higher prices. It also reduces the purchasing power for all consumers across the board. Another byproduct of wage increases can be automation. In other words, automating a worker's jobs so that they can be laid off, or automation replacing new hires. The National Bureau of Economic and Research study found that forced salary increases does lead to automation. And Today and recently, advances in computer technology, for example, artificial intelligence, does make automating jobs a lot easier. Some examples of automation are automated restaurant kiosks, as we see now in some fast food restaurants, and factory and warehouse robotics. And here's a chart that shows the potential for job automation by industry. Now, the number one on the list is hotel and food service. Now, these are fairly simple, not very complex jobs that lend themselves to be automated. Number two is manufacturing, and number three on the list is transportation and warehousing. For example, we see self-driving cars coming out today. So my conclusion, based on my research, is that by raising the federal minimum wage, government does help employees in the short term. However, in the long run, it has a negative effect on small businesses, which are the heart of American entrepreneurship and employment. And all consumers, it hurts consumers as prices for products and services increase. There needs to be clearly a balance between workers and the companies that employ them, so that everybody's happy and everybody benefits, from wages and from the labor and products and services of the small business. Okay, well, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate your attention. Are there any questions? No? Okay. Well, have a good day then.